Greg, just to be able to have the depth that you guys have shown at the defensive positions, how important is that going forward with so many games coming up in a tight window?
Yeah, it's important. It's important to have depth in every position, but obviously with our center backs, we were able to in this last run give a number of guys a match. And the hard part is that they're all sort of deserving to play and to get minutes, but really you only choose two at a time. So. And you always want to have continuity as much as possible in the two that you choose. So, but having said that, we had Eric and Nick, and they both really stepped up in this stretch. And Josh has done well with his opportunities, and obviously Damien and Drew were the guys who who led us off for the whole year, and they give us that experience. So it's good to have. Hopefully. Depth in all of our positions is going to be key. Right now, we're running into a lot of matches in a short period of time, and important matches, not just any old matches, but with the Canadian Championship coming up, and and some tough games that we have in and around those games. It's going to be a lot of travel, a lot of minutes, and we got to get everybody to healthy and ready to play.
Do you see the Galaxy as a bit of a measuring stick for you guys in terms of what they've been able to do for so many years and just their consistency?
Yeah, it's tough to say. I mean, they're going to be missing probably a few guys, or we're likely to be missing a few guys as well. And so it's one of those that, in terms of even in the last 2 years, we haven't been able to play them head up with our best guys against their best guys, just for the sake of having a wonderful event that could, highlight some of MLS's best players. That to me would be a great day just for the league. But we haven't had that opportunity. In terms of a club who's accomplished things that we're looking to accomplish, yes, that would be one of those teams that you always kind of circle on your calendar and your schedule that you want to be at your best, and you want to try to have a good day there. So and obviously it's at home. So they're one of those standard setters in that way, and we want to have a good day against them. So from in that instance, yes.
Is there an update on Sebastian's availability heading into the weekend?
Yeah, Sebastian he's good. He we were a little bit cautious with him in the last game, and he'll have 10 days since the last game to continue his progression. But he's good. He's he's in training as normal as usual. So.
And one of the prime weapons you guys will be facing on Saturday is Giovanni Dos Santos. How do you deal with a threat like that, sort of slashing around, this sort of willingness to shoot from anywhere?
Yeah, he's a clever player. He's tough to sort of manage because he pops up in different spaces around the field. He drifts in between the lines. He'll sometimes drift out wide to create some numbers advantages out wide, and he's always sort of goal-oriented in terms of his thinking and organizing himself to try to get to goal. So we've got to make like all of the sort of these pocket type of players that you run into in the league. You've got to make sure that you're blocking some of those passing lanes and making it difficult for him to find the ball, and then making sure that we crowd it up when balls do get into those areas, and we make things difficult for him to face forward and see our goal, or even to combine off of people. So we just gotta. We got to make it hard for him to find space, and then from there we've got to defend well and manage his ability to do dangerous things. So obviously he's been in a good run of form, so he'll be one of those guys we have to keep an eye on.
Do you see any similarities between his game and Jovinko's?
A little bit. I think Seba is a little more of a forward, straight up forward, in terms of his attacking thoughts and his mindset and his runs, in terms of quickly getting behind back lines and setting guys up. But I don't think they're so dissimilar. I mean, their statures are not so far apart, and so those types of players tend to be similar in that they shift into pockets and they get themselves on the turn, and they're quick to get going forward before big center backs or big defenders can get a hold of them. So they're shifty in that way, both. But I think Seba's a little bit more of an out-and-out forward than Dos Santos is. Who's a little bit more of a kind of a forward, kind of a midfielder blend. He's maybe just a touch different.
And you played in LA under Bruce Arena, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What's that like facing off against your former boss? Did it give you some insight?
No, I mean, Bruce isn't going to change anything really for anybody. So I would imagine he'll come in and he'll do the same things that they do all the time, and they'll be a stingy defensive team. They've got a lot of weapons and guys who can run and play with the ball, and He's not going to change anything. He'll do what he's done for years. He's a very good manager. He'll have the group ready and prepared to play in terms of their mindset and coming into Toronto to give their best effort and put their best foot forward. So from that standpoint, in terms of just manager to manager, I don't know. I always appreciate playing against guys who've won in the league and have won championships, and Bruce more than any is one of those guys. So for us, it's a good way to sort of measure ourselves as a team and see where we're at.
And is there any update on Josie's situation? Did you guys?
Yeah, well, Josie's progressing. He's moving into faster pace types of things, getting closer to full speed types of stuff. He's obviously not fully into training sessions or anything like that, but he's progressing and he's looking good, and he's taking on all the work that's in front of him to try to get to not just full recovery, but get to a position where we'd like to hope that he's and himself that he's solid, and we can get this all behind us, and he can move forward as a professional and stay focused on being on the field, which is what everybody wants.
Did you guys did like a comprehensive analysis to find out what was causing the recurring injury? Did you guys find anything there that you care to share with us?
Well, I think we've done a number of things that obviously there's a number of contributing factors I think that come into this, which could be anything from fatigue to stress to anything that can go imbalances between muscle strength and the quad versus the hamstring. All these little things that become factors, right? There's no one thing that I think is the cause at the end of the day necessarily, but we try to look at all of those factors and balance those out as much as possible. That's why it's getting him back to where he wants to be and where we want him to be is it's an all-encompassing thing, and we're taking that approach with it, as is Josie, and he's been great in terms of his work rate to really get this behind him and get himself back on the field. He's anxious, I can tell you that.